Liam Lawson's first race went really badly, and even though his team could have made better choices, there's no question that the New Zealand driver has a lot to prove in the next races. After a hard time trying to get a good starting position, there was a good chance for Lawson to move up since 3 drivers had to quit on the first lap, but he couldn't take advantage of it and became one of 4 new drivers who didn't finish the race. But after Horner's latest words, can we slowly start to think that maybe the team needs to give Tsunoda a chance? And if not, how much time does Lawson have to prove himself at Red Bull? There's no question about the biggest letdown in Melbourne when it comes to one person's performance, Liam Lawson. Throughout the whole weekend, the driver had his own problems, but we thought he could have had an amazing comeback race since he proved last year in Austin that he can make up a lot of ground when it really matters. But here in Australia, the New Zealander was not competitive at all, and getting lapped by your own teammate is what finally ended Gasly's time at Red Bull. Back in 2019, when talking about the race, Lawson was sure that the mistake was nowhere to be found but in himself and his driving. As he went on to explain, there are not many good things to take away, honestly. I'm just looking forward to going to China and starting fresh. It's something that I've been through plenty of times before in my career. Unfortunately, we have just a few days off, so obviously trying to do the sprint weekend is going to be tough by itself, but I'm just excited to go into another weekend. Also, Lawson went on to say that there weren't any disagreements between him and the team because they agreed on everything. It's just that he took a chance with the dry tires and thought he could stay on them a bit longer, and it didn't work out at all. Explaining more about the plan, he added, "No, me and the team agreed on everything. We wanted to take a risk. We shared that gamble together, but I was just saying sorry for putting the car into the wall. This weekend stinks. We took a chance hoping at least half the track would stay dry. We hoped that at least half the track would be dry, and we knew the third section was bad, but we thought the first section would stay drier, so we kept going. Unfortunately, it was pouring rain. I stopped pushing at that point because it was so wet. I was just trying to stay on the track. We were really struggling. To be honest, had a lot of tire problems with the front early in the race. It's been a tough weekend, and whether we like it or not, this has been the worst first race that could have happened to Lawson, because not only was he the last starting driver from the Red Bull family, but he was also one of the 2 drivers that didn't finish the race. The other was Hajar, who made a silly mistake at turn 1. But since it's his first F1 event, it's kind of an excuse he can use. The same cannot be said for Liam though, who got stuck between 2 Haas drivers and had nothing to show to the F1 world. On the other hand, we had Antonelli's race, a driver who was also kicked out of the first part of qualifying but because of damage to his car's bottom, and one who managed to complete a massive comeback race and reached 4th place just behind his teammate Russell. This is the kind of performance that Red Bull was hoping Lawson was hiding through his 11 races with Racing Bulls, but that's right now a faraway goal that he would need to reach very deep in his pocket to offer the Austrian team. And when this topic is mentioned, we just have to talk about a possible replacement. As you already know, there's someone happily smiling at his home right now. Even though Yuki failed to score points in Australia because of the poor choices of his team, he had an amazing race, keeping Albon and Hamilton behind him for a large part of the race. Had Racing Bulls done a better job with the changing conditions on the track, Tsunoda could have easily finished in the top 5. But here we are, and Tsunoda's encouraging words that the team shouldn't feel down because they have a lot of speed show that there is a lot to be proven in the next couple of races. Christian Horner has talked about Lawson's poor weekend, and, as you would expect, he didn't attack the Kiwi driver because they both failed with the plan. Explaining more about this, Horner said, "It was a difficult weekend for Liam. We changed the car to put a bit more downforce on the car. It's a very hard track to pass at. We took the risk of leaving him out because he was outside the points, and we thought, you know what, roll the dice. Maybe it'll work out." But that was exactly the point when it started to rain more. So it's difficult to blame him for that, for that last spin. I think the one bright spot that he can take out of it is that, on the dry tires, he actually posted the 2nd fastest lap time of the race. So I think if there's one positive we can take, it's that his speed is actually not too bad. When Lawson was moved up to the Red Bull seat, there was always the choice that Tsunoda would step into the seat if something was to go horribly wrong with Lawson's first race. Of course, we're not here to spread rumors because one bad race doesn't automatically mean Liam is being thought of as a bad driver. But a bad start to the season is definitely the bad sign that he would have wanted to prevent when he has so much pressure on his shoulders. Even before his race, there were statements from Marco and Joes that Lawson should just be close to Verstappen, maybe 3 to 4 tenths of a second and nothing more, because if he tries to beat him, he will fail. But it seems like Liam is far away from that, at least judging from this view. And if his performance doesn't get better in the following races, Red Bull would definitely think about the switch between him and Super. They are already in talks with the FIA to get the super license for Arvid Lindblad to Racing Bulls from 2026 onwards, which means that they would either get rid of the Japanese driver or finally give him the long-awaited opportunity, and himself had added that he hasn't given up on the seat just yet. So when he went on to talk about the future he has at Red Bull, Yuki added, I still want that Red Bull seat at some point, but the decision they made, it's up to them, not me. I had like 3 calls from Helmut, Christian, and Laurent before the announcement. The first one was from Helmut, so I heard the final decision from them. There's no point in complaining. I just said, yeah, I get it, like okay, good luck. Pretty much that's it. I just got to keep doing what I'm doing, and my mindset won't change. A very interesting statement was then made about what his beliefs are in terms of why Lawson got the promotion over him. Yuki doesn't think that it's related to how well the drivers perform, but rather a political reason that put him in the wrong position. Explaining this, Tsunoda said, I didn't really ask why Lawson got that seat over me. I think Christian mentioned it's not about performance. From what I heard from other people, they're saying that it's not performance related, more like a political decision. I don't know, maybe Christian didn't really say specifically what the reason was. I didn't care really, whatever they say. I don't know if that is true or not, to be honest. And in the end, I just told them how I feel, how I'm still motivated for next season, and that's it. As I mentioned earlier in this video, the fact that Lawson was lapped by the leading group is definitely not what he wants happening in the first place, because this is the main reason the Austrian team wants to get rid of Perez, the Mexican driver. It was a huge problem when it came to scoring points, and Verstappen cannot be a one-man team anymore if they want to compete in the team championship. Just look at what Mercedes has done with Antonelli, and obviously Ferrari will bounce back from this poor weekend very quickly. So if Lawson doesn't pick up the pace, he might as well put the team in a worse position than they were when they finished last year in 4th place. Zak Brown is already here to stir things up, and although his statements are kind of meant to be mean and to make Red Bull's team a bit angry, this one is kind of built on a solid argument. Talking about the lineup at Red Bull, the chief of McLaren raised some questions as to why Lawson got the seat over Tsunoda, further adding, I think it's going to be a very exciting year. Yuki did a great job. He's probably the guy that should be in the Red Bull seat if you look at how he's performed, but they seem to make some strange choices. With all of this in mind, what do you think about Lawson's poor first race in Australia? And more importantly, do you think he can bounce back during the sprint events in China next week? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to know more about Hamilton and Leclerc's reactions to Ferrari's disaster class of race strategy, make sure to click on the video that's appearing on screen right now.